Imagine you just got a raise. Not a life-changing raise, just a decent one. Maybe an extra $400 a month. For about 3 days, you feel genuinely good about it. Then something happens, almost automatically, without any real decision being made. Your rent goes up a little, you start ordering food more, you upgrade your phone plan, you say yes to the weekend trip you would have skipped before. And by month 3, you have no idea where the $400 went. You didn't blow it on something stupid, you didn't lose it, you just absorbed it, painlessly, completely. Here is what nobody tells you about that moment. That was not willpower failure. That was not laziness. That was your brain doing exactly what it was built to do. And until you understand what it was built to do, it will keep doing it. Every raise, every bonus, every windfall, gone. The human brain is roughly 300,000 years old. For almost all of that time, the smartest financial strategy available was simple. If you have resources right now, use them right now, because tomorrow there might be a drought, a predator, a long winter. Saving for the future was not wisdom, it was a gamble. The future was genuinely uncertain in a way that most of us have never experienced. So your brain developed a very strong preference for immediate reward. Psychologists call this present bias, the idea that a dollar today feels significantly more valuable than a dollar next year, even when the math says otherwise. In a survival environment, that bias kept your ancestors alive. In a modern economy with credit cards, subscription services, and one-click purchasing, that same bias is quietly draining your bank account every single month. The problem is not that you are bad with money. The problem is that you are using ancient hardware to navigate a system that was specifically designed to exploit it. Here is where it gets interesting. The financial industry, and by that I mean everything from banks to retail stores to social media platforms, understands your brain better than you do. They have spent billions of dollars studying exactly when you are most likely to spend, what makes you feel like you deserve something, and how to make saving feel painful while spending feels natural. Think about how a credit card works for a second. When you pay cash for something, your brain registers a small amount of pain. Researchers have actually put people in brain scanners and watched this happen. Handing over physical money activates the same region of the brain associated with physical discomfort. A credit card eliminates that entirely. The purchase feels free. The pain is delayed 30 days. And by then, your brain has already moved on. This is not an accident. This is a design decision. Or think about how subscription services price themselves. Not $120 a year, $9.99 a month. Because your brain evaluates $9.99 as basically nothing. It is below what psychologists call the pain threshold. You approve it without thinking. Multiply that across 6 subscriptions, and you have spent $720 a year on things you barely use, and none of them ever felt expensive. The game is rigged, not in a conspiracy theory way, just in a very well-researched, very well-funded, entirely legal way. Now here is the part that most people never reach. There is a concept in behavioral economics called the hedonic treadmill. The idea is straightforward. Human beings are remarkably good at adapting to new circumstances. When something good happens, a raise, a new apartment, a nicer car, it feels genuinely better for a short period. Then your baseline shifts. The new thing becomes the normal thing, and you are back to the same level of satisfaction you had before, but now with higher expenses. This is why studies consistently find almost no correlation between income and happiness once basic needs are covered. People earning $80,000 a year are not dramatically happier than people earning $50,000. But people earning $80,000 often have $80,000 worth of lifestyle, which means the same amount of financial anxiety, just at a higher altitude. The treadmill keeps moving. You keep walking. You never actually arrive anywhere. And the cruel irony is that the things most likely to genuinely improve your life, security, freedom, options, the ability to say no to things you hate, none of those come from spending more. They come from the gap between what you earn and what you spend. That gap is the only number that actually matters, and your brain, left to its own devices, will close that gap every single time. So, what do you actually do with this? The most important shift is not budgeting harder or cutting out coffee. It is understanding that willpower is not a reliable tool when the entire environment is working against you. The people who build wealth consistently are not people with more discipline. They are people who stopped fighting their own brain and started working with it. That means making the good decision once instead of making it every day. Automate your savings so the money moves before you see it. Your brain cannot miss what it never registers as available. Set up your investments to contribute automatically. Create friction around spending. Not impossible friction, just enough to introduce a pause. Because your brain's present bias is powerful, but it has one weakness. It is lazy. If spending requires one extra step, one extra confirmation, one moment of deliberate thought, a significant portion of impulse purchases simply do not happen. The urge passes. The moment goes. You are not trying to become a different person. You are just redesigning the path of least resistance so that the lazy, present-biased, ancient part of your brain stumbles into better decisions instead of worse ones. Here is what this all comes down to. You are not broke because you lack information. Almost everyone knows they should spend less and save more. That knowledge changes almost nothing. You are not broke because you lack discipline. Discipline is a finite resource. It runs out, especially when the system is engineered to exhaust it. The actual problem is that you are playing a game designed by professionals using equipment designed for a different era. The raise you got 3 years ago should have changed your financial position. It probably didn't. The bonus you got last year should be sitting somewhere earning something. It probably isn't. Not because you failed, but because nobody told you that your brain was going to intercept it. Now you know. The question is whether knowing it is enough to do something different, or whether your brain is already working on a reason why next month is a better time to start.